The people may continue. Should be on page 27 of the transcript. Am I correct on that?
Please tell me about something. You said you were going to send me pictures. You never sent me any pictures.
Listen, I explained to you why I couldn't send you any pictures. Oh, the pictures of the stuff we wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to see you this week. I got my hands full of something right now. I'm trying to take care of, but I want to bring out pictures this week sometime. We're thinking Wednesday or Thursday. Are you going to be around?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm always around. I'm always waiting for something.
Okay. Well, like I said, this is kind of a slow-going deal. This is not, these guys didn't exactly leave calling cards when they did.
You said to me a couple of weeks ago you were going to start interviewing people. Have you? And how's that going?
Many people have been interviewed, yes. We're working on a lot of things right now. Like I said, I can't, it's not for public consumption now. I really can't talk about a whole lot of things, but this case will get solved. It's just a matter of time. And we have to build our case. We have to put everything together. And we don't really dictate how things go. It's just, whatever we find out and whatever information we're provided with, it's not up to us to solve, to generate all this stuff. This stuff has to be found out and provided to us in different ways, and we have to build our case. We can't just go out and arrest someone because we think it's them. We have to have evidence.
Is there any more evidence come in at all?
Can't discuss none of my cases. I can't discuss any state of the evidence or amount of evidence or anything with any of my victims or families or anything like that. I have to maintain the integrity of the investigation. I can't have information going out at this point, but I assure you this case will be solved. We're moving forward on it. There's a lot of things being done. I don't know how long it's going to take. So, we're making progress, though. And one of the things you want to do is I want to introduce you to a couple detectives that are working that other side of this, the whole burglary angle. And they had some additional questions for you. They wanted to go over a few more things with you, and they were hoping to do it Wednesday or Thursday this week. So I'm planning to call you at some point today and set up a time. Are you available both days, all day, or?
Yes.
Okay, well, let me find out when we can do this, and we're looking at Wednesday or Thursday. I'll give you a call later today with that time.
Oh, I have another question. Can you tell me what it means, what aggressor means? So the insurance company said that he hasn't been ruled out. What does that mean?
That who hasn't been ruled out?
Fabio has not been ruled out as an aggressor. What does that mean? He's not an aggressor?
No, I have no idea what that means. Did they give you some type of...
Yes, they said the questions that we're waiting for LAPD to answer, and which was supposed to be a while ago, and no one's called them back. Was it Fabio was a prior felon, or he was an aggressor? And if the beneficiary would need to be ruled out. me if you send stuff out of state, because it would be quicker.
Right. Yeah, we're hoping that it'll be quicker. They were telling me 2 more weeks, and that was last week. So I'm gonna try to get an update from them this week, but a couple weeks and for at least some of the stuff. So we're gonna keep bugging them. But one of those things that these things take time, and they have a lot of requests, and we're kind of going from there. Okay. I will call you later today, and we'll get together this week. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay.
Thursday, 11 o'clock, that's perfect. We're home. I'm going to have a little bit of a full house. I'm not sure if that's good for you guys. My mom's going to be here visiting. My sister-in-law, Jesse, will probably be home. Okay. Would you rather me meet something, I don't know?
No, that's fine. As long as we can, talk in private at some point. I think they want to kind of do a little walkthrough, and then they want to show you some, maybe some maps and stuff. So if we can just grab a room or something, or we won't be interrupted, that would be okay.
Okay, yeah, we can go in my room. We can do my room. It's big maps.
Well, yeah, I think they want to go over some of the burglary hits they've had in the area there, and
oh my gosh, okay.
Retrace your routes, when you went shopping, when you came back home, and stuff like that. So.
Okay.
So as long as we can, just get somewhat quiet and talk,
Yeah. Okay, fine. That's great. We can go in my room
or the side patio or wherever.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, sounds good.
That's great. I'll see you Tuesday. Thank you. Okay, bye. Hello?
Hi, Monica. This is Detective Portia. How are you doing?
Good.
Good. Hey, listen, I talked to the burglary guys. They're having some big meeting in a couple weeks, and they wanted to hopefully, they anticipate more photos and stuff. They want to meet with you somewhere around, hopefully June 9th, if you're going to be around then.
Oh, okay.
Are you in town?
June 9th, June 11, I will be in Toronto accepting a Lifetime Achievement Award for Fabio.
Oh, you told me about that. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the weekend. Okay.
Yeah, so I leave June 9th, so just before that or just after that?
Okay, so I don't think they're having a meeting till the 8th.
Okay.
But maybe the week of the 12th, 13th, 14th, you'll be back.
Okay, hang on because you're breaking up. Let me move over to the box. Hang on. Can you hear me now?
I can't. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so maybe what I'll do is we should touch base on Monday, so I'll get over there on Monday and we'll find out when they're available that week. I haven't checked I don't know the schedule that far out, so I just know they have a meeting on the 8th. So I'll touch base with you basically on the 12th.
Okay, but can I also ask you for your email and for a set of Castro's email?
Sure. My email is my cell number, which is 30601.
Okay.
At LAPD.
Okay.
.online.
.online. Okay.
And Detective Castro's is the same as mine, except it's 26287.
26287. That's Castro. Okay.
Okay, so I'll probably touch base before that, before you leave.
Yes.
Maybe, I'll talk to you. Today is Memorial Day, so I am off tomorrow. I'll be back on Tuesday, so we'll touch base on Tuesday. I don't think we're going to have anything between then Tuesday, but we'll check in on Tuesday with you.
Okay. Now I know. So I'm not sure how long you were at the event. Were you able to, I don't know, speak with anybody or?
No, I didn't want to. There wasn't anyone early to talk to. I think one of your friends was there. Was it Deborah or something?
Yes.
Okay, she was there. I remember her from the.
Yes.
Talked to her briefly. I didn't talk to anyone else. I know who Fabio's boss is. I have his name already.
Okay.
But no, we were just kind of low key, just hanging out back. We were there till the end, and then we had to split. I know you were probably busy at the end of that thing, so we just took off from there. But we saw the whole thing all the way through. I think it was really nice.
Yeah, we did a wonderful job.
What are they doing with that wall? I know you're asking about the wall that had Fabio's pictures all over it.
Yeah, I'm going to be traveling for the next few cruises, and then it's mine. So wherever we end up, that will be ours. We're selling the house now. I don't know where we're going to be in a month from now because I can't really do anything until I sell the house because I can't buy anything.
Is it on the market?
It's on the market with me. He's coming tomorrow, the realtor, to take pictures and stuff. I think June 9th and 10th, the agents will only open house for the agents will be here. So my realtor will have the key, and they'll be the only one here showing the house that weekend.
Okay. All right.
So that's going to be going up for sale. And then we really not even had a roof over our heads. We don't know what's happening. So I wanted to come and do something you guys can do. But MetLife called me this morning already, saying that there's only one last confirmation they need. I know you told me what you guys feel and things, but I guess they need it in writing. I don't even know.
That's the problem. I told them what my opinion was on this thing, but they want something in writing. That's what the department is resisting at this point. So hopefully in a couple of weeks with this next meeting and stuff, that we're going to be further along. These guys.
If there's anything we can do to speed this up, I just don't, because I don't know what's happening within the next week to week here, day to day. So if there's anything we can do, please.
No,
let me know.
I'd love to get to that point that I could satisfy our higher ups and make that call, but they're asking for a little bit more. So we're hoping that these guys, the burglary task force, comes up on the we got some good stuff right now. It's just not where we need to be. So we're hoping for that to come through, and I keep pushing these guys. I talk to them a couple times a week, and they give updates and stuff. So if I have anything I can pass on, or we can clear that whole thing up, and we will as soon as we can. We don't want you guys to be, to be.
Yeah, I'm asking you for your emails because I was gonna. I always forget things, and I'd rather have this written down so I know what's happening. But anyway, my dad, was telling my mom, which she's here in front of me now, to make sure that we tell you this thing that transpired when he was in Toronto with his son. Somebody was telling my dad something about work that he had to investigate because he had to fire somebody. And he was uncomfortable with it or upset by it. And I don't know all the details. I wanted my dad to tell you exactly what he said or what kind of happened with this. And so we reached out to him this morning, but he couldn't talk to this with other people. But I want to give him your phone number because I'm confused myself, and I want him to tell you what exactly Fabio told him.
Right.
I know that anything that has to do with work is on email. It's all documented, so I'm sure you can see that. But I don't know if it has to do with Geneva or the LA office. So maybe my dad could, reiterate what he heard.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I'm here, Monday through Thursday, every week, sometimes longer. But he can call me anytime, and I can always check it with your work. I'm in touch with I know the corporate security guy for
Okay.
well, and he can get me pretty much anything with the business. I mean, so far he's been real receptive to getting any kind of business documents I need. So he would be able to find out the particulars if your dad didn't have it.
Okay. So my dad can just call you, or do you want his number?
Either way, you can have him give me a call when he's available. Sounds like he's a busy man, but he can call me, leave a message, and I'll get back to him as soon as I can if you do that.
much,
Okay.
I know we're all grasping at straws, but I think everything is going to be something,
Right.
at least something.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to have them call you.
Okay, yeah, we'll do.
Thank you. Okay, I'll wait to hear from you on the 30th or whatever you said. No, what did you say?
Yeah, the 30th.
The 12th?
30th.
Oh, okay, the 30th. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Hi, Monica. This is Marshall.
Yes, hi.
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Good. Hey, listen. So I spoke to your dad last
Okay.
week.
Yeah.
And a couple questions. I wanted to follow up with some stuff. Who was Fabio's? Because I guess his boss was in Geneva, Switzerland, and asked Fabio to go to Toronto to do this investigation. Who was his boss at that time?
The only one I think I know, her name is Michelle Mason.
Michelle Mason.
Yeah.
And
She was also there that night at the event.
right. I know you guys mentioned her. So she was the boss in January as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I mean, his boss is here, but that's the, hiding. Yeah.
I'm sorry, you cut out there. Can you hear me?
I said, his boss here is Sal
Right.
in North America, but, the top guys are in Geneva.
Okay. And all right. And when you say Sal, that's Salvador, right? Salvador Marici.
Mosseri.
Mosseri.
Sal Mosseri. Yeah.
So that's his direct boss here, but you think higher up from him would be Michelle Mason?
Yeah.
Okay. And how do you spell your dad's name?
Okay. It's O-R-S-E-O. Orfeo and Orfeo, yeah. And do you need the last name?
Same as yours?
Well, my maiden name, yes. Crescentini.
Crescentini. I should have that somewhere. Oh, go ahead.
C-R-E-S-C-E-N-T-I-N-I.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got that. And it's Orfeo. O-R-S as in Sam.
No, F as in Frank.
That's the Frank. Okay, what asked? Orfeo. Okay. Okay, well, we're just gonna follow up on that a little bit. Your dad thought it was kind of unusual, and I hadn't heard about that particular incident from anybody yet, so
Okay.
we'll take a look at that. So I got nothing else to report right now. We're moving forward on the
What about you said you were going to call me with we were going to meet at some point next week or something like that, or the week after?
They're having a meeting with a couple other agencies that they've been dealing with, and they anticipate to get some photos and stuff. So I think they're supposed to meet on the 8th, but you weren't available on the 9th because that's when you're going to, I think,
Right.
New York or Canada or something.
Yeah, both. Yeah, New York, Toronto, and then home again on the Monday or the Tuesday right after that.
Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah, I think it's the 13th.
Yeah, fixes are available on Thursday or Friday. So let's wait until we get to that week and hopefully maybe something on the 15th or 16th. Just
Okay.
together.
All right.
Okay? So I'll let you know if anything comes out of this whole Hottie thing. And that was when the company was Cody, right?
Yeah, so I think that's switched over like in November or something like that.
Right.
He went to Cody, yeah.
And his first, your dad said November, or second week of November, then he said second week of December. Is that right? December is when it's going to...
I can't even tell you.
Oh.
Because he travels so much, I don't even know. That's why my dad, I know he wasn't really certain of the details.
Right.
I just, said, just say what you heard, what you know. Don't, poke things out of nowhere.
Right. And any idea which accountant would have gone with him? Because you guys said he brought an accountant with him to really examine the case.
I have no idea.
Okay. Well,
I'm sure there's a
Chuck would know.
here that would know, right.
Okay.
They would know, for sure.
Okay. Good enough. I can follow up with her, and hopefully she can give me some more information on that side.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah.
Talk to you soon.
Okay.
All right.
Bye. meeting went.
Went good. Went good.
Going good?
Yeah. So, like I said, we have our secretary typing up that letter, so we should be able to get that hopefully at the end of this week.
Okay. I have going on the computer and trying to download all these records. There's a lot, and it's really. Anyway, I did it all. I'm going to send them to you, but if it's hard for you to view or read or whatever, then maybe I can come to see you. We can log in, and you guys can look right on the actual AT&T whole accounts and stuff.
Oh, okay. So it's a lot just for the 1 month still?
Well, it's home phone, my cell, Jessica's cell, Bella's cell.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have Fabio's in there also?
Oh, I do have his, but I didn't because I thought you have his phone, so you could, or his computer, whatever. If you want, I could put his in there too.
Yeah, might as well, so we have it all. Because then, if they can, they'll take it. They'll just punch in. They'll search certain numbers. It shows that it'll find that number and whoever's records it is, and if it pops up, then we know this guy's tried to call or called or whatever. So.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna add his in there too, and then I will. I guess email it. Yeah, I'll email it over to you.
In some type of file or envelope or is it?
Well, they're all right now. They're all. They're trying to put them all on nice Word documents so they're legible.
Oh, okay.
I could probably do it on Excel as well.
Well, try the Word. That's always easier, and then we can use Excel as well. So try the Word, see how that works.
Okay, I'm going to send those over, and when you get it, open them, see what you think. If it looks, if you guys can read it and whatever, great. Otherwise, I can log in, like I said, and we could just go right there to the site.
Okay. Yeah, we may do that. But they know what numbers they're looking for. I don't. So let's.
Are we going to have a meeting? Did you say we're going to meet soon, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, hopefully this week. What's today? Wednesday.
Yeah.
I was off the last couple of days sick. Let me call them and see what their week is like. I think we could do it either this Friday or next Friday is what their 2 days are. So
oh my gosh.
Let me check with these guys and see if they still want to show you those photos and stuff based on what they've gotten so far. So
Okay.
yeah. So let me get back to you. I don't know, later today or tomorrow, and if as long as we get a hold of them and we get a date, then we'll set up a date.
Okay, that's perfect.
And you can email that stuff to me, and then I'll look at that today and see if it's something that they can use to search. If not,
Okay.
we can format.
Okay, perfect. I will get fast on there to you now, and then I'll send it.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Talk to you later.
You need to collect the transcripts first.
Oh,
Collect the transcripts, please.
oh, yes. Detective Brunner, would it be fair to say that in any investigation you never divulge the details of what you are doing during that investigation?
That's correct.
In addition to what we heard during the recording of conversations between the defendant and Detective Parshall, were there also several dates where the defendant called and left recorded voicemails?
I believe so, yes.
Did the defendant leave voicemails on March 13th and March 15th of 2017 for you and your partner?
If I could refresh my recollection.
Yes.
That was March 13th and March 15th?
Yes.
Yes.
And as we heard in some of the recordings, for example, on March 8th of 2017, did Detective Parshall repeatedly tell the defendant that he would hook up a DVR or security system ASAP?
Yes.
We heard during the recorded call of March 16th of 2017 where the defendant was recorded telling Detective Parshall that she believed that his 3 kids are the only beneficiaries to his life insurance policy. Did she ever say anything else with respect to herself off tape?
Not that I'm aware of.
On the date of March 21st, did the defendant again call your office and leave 3 separate voicemails for you or Detective Parshall or your supervisor, Detective Castro, to call back?
Again, if you'd like me to look at the book, I can do so.
Please.
You said March 21st?
Yes, sir.
Is there a phone that is, or shut it off?
I don't show a number of calls. I do show that there was definitely a call.
Does it show that there are 3 voicemail messages from that date?
I don't see in the chronological that it shows that. Just that there was definitely a conversation.
Okay. Again, in the March 8th conversation that was recorded, we heard the defendant make the statement that Fabio had been the one to purchase and replace the DVR system. Did she ever make a statement to the opposite, that in fact she was the one that was home during that DVR replacement?
She did not.
In the April 17th, 2017 recorded call with the defendant, where we heard her claim that on the old system there was an app where Fabio could look up and see the video feed, but that she never had access. Did she ever correct or change that statement?
No.
When she said during that conversation that she was not present when the new DVR was installed and the only new camera was the one at the front door, did she ever correct or change those statements off tape?
No.
When the defendant claimed that she had no access to the system via her cell phone, did she ever change that statement off tape?
No.
Was there another call from the defendant that took place on May 1st of 2017?
There was.
And during that particular conversation, was there a conversation with her about whether or not she had yet replaced her DVR?
There was.
And during that conversation, did she indicate that State Farm Insurance, her homeowner's insurance policy, had paid out on her homeowner's claim in order to replace that DVR system?
Yes.
And at any time, did she tell you and or your partner or your supervisor, to your knowledge, that she had replaced the DVR?
She did not.
During the May 8th, 2017 recorded call from the defendant where she was talking about having difficulties due to the lack of life insurance money being paid out and looking for maybe a smaller home, did she ever mention at any point in time off tape that despite the fact that she was claiming she was having money issues, that she had just purchased a new Mustang for $62,000?
No.
You mentioned that both you and your partner, your supervisor, had conversations with MetLife, the carrier of Fabio Sementilli's life insurance policy. Was there ever any question about whether Fabio was an aggressor in his own murder?
Objection calls for speculation.
As formed, sustained.
Was there any conversation that you had with the life insurance company about Fabio, the victim in this case, acting as an aggressor?
Objection calls for speculation. No foundation.
That's overruled.
Not that I'm aware of.
There was no evidence to that effect. Is that correct?
There was none that I saw.
That wasn't the question with respect to the life insurance company. Is that correct?
Correct.
The issue was clearing the 4 beneficiaries. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you and your partner cleared 3 of them, that being Fabio's 3 children. Is that correct?
Correct.
So the only one that was outstanding with respect to your department and clearance for life insurance payout was the defendant.
Yes.
During the May 31st recorded call that we listened to, where Detective Parshall is talking to the defendant about her trip to New York City on the June 9th and then to Toronto and home on June 13th, at that point in time was your division, along with the robbery homicide division, already making plans to arrest the defendant along with Mr. Baker?
So my understanding is yes. However, I believe I was actually on vacation at the time. I was having conversations with my partner, so I was kept in the loop to some degree. But
You were aware that was
Denying the object motion to strike the answer.
Denied.
you were aware that that was imminent.
yes,
And on June 14th, where we heard the last recorded call between the defendant and your partner, where Detective Parshall indicated that your secretary is typing up a letter to get her by the end of the week for clearance for the life insurance payout. Was that a ruse?
yes.
And what does that mean?
Essentially a story to tell them to, again, put them off a little bit longer, just to put them at ease.
Your Honor, of a photograph of a Ford Expedition. It's titled Robert Baker's Ford Expedition at Sementilli Home, dated March 11th of 2017. May this photograph be marked, please, as People's 53?
Yes.
And I also have a copy of an email exchange between the defendant and Detective Parshall. May it be marked, please, as People's 54?
It may.
Showing you People's 53. Was this a photograph that was sent to you and your partner by Deborah Obad showing Robert Baker's expedition parked in front of the Sementilli home?
Yes.
And And was that received on March 11th of 2017?
Yes.
In terms of the conversation in the June 14th recording between the defendant and your partner with respect to the secretary typing up a letter to clear the defendant for insurance payout, did your partner document that conversation in writing?
Yes.
And do you know what we're looking at here in People's 54?
Yes.
And do you recognize this as an email, if we start from the bottom, between the defendant and your partner, Detective Parshall?
Yes.
And does this email chain talk about the letter to MetLife for clearing the defendant for insurance payout?
Yes.
And does this appear to be an email chain that took place between June 7th of 2017 and June 9th of 2017?
It does.
I just have a few last questions to ask you. We talked at the beginning of your testimony last week about various search warrants for phone records, subscriber records, call detail records, with respect to everyone in the Sementilli family, including the victim. Did you and your partner also have conversations with a surveillance unit to conduct surveillance on the two suspects, the defendant along with Robert Baker?
We did.
Okay. And that particular division, is that the Gangs and Narcotics Division?
Yes.
And did you and or your partner obtain search warrants in order to install GPS trackers on the suspect's vehicle, that being the defendant and Robert Baker?
Yes.
And initially, were GPS trackers installed pursuant to warrants on the defendant's black Ford F-150?
Yes.
Also on Jessica Sementilli's red Fiat that the defendant occasionally drove?
I think Isabella's
Okay.
Fiat.
Thank you. And Robert Baker's black Ford Expedition that we saw in People's 53?
Yes.
In terms of the GPS trackers, did that allow you and your partner to track the travel or and destination from your computers?
Yes.
And is that through some type of software that connects to the GPS trackers?
It's actually a web browser that connects to the data that's being sent by the tracking device.
And does that data also include GPS coordinates?
It does.
Longitude and latitude?
Yes.
So you can track to a particular location?
Correct.
And did you also obtain a search warrant for cellular phone pings?
Yes.
What is that?
So your cellular phone hits off of cellular towers, and these phone companies have the ability to basically triangulate your phone's position based on cellular towers. Some phone companies are better than others as far as the information provided, but it can track you down to a particular area and then give you a plus or minus in a number of meters. And sometimes the hits are really good, sometimes they're absolute garbage.
So it's another way in order to track your suspects' travels and locations.
Correct.
And does that also provide through the phone pings GPS location and coordinates?
I'm sorry, repeat that one more time.
Does it include coordinates?
As far as on the phone pings themselves? Yes. Again, it's plus or minus sometimes
Meters.
thousands of meters. Sometimes it's, within 9 meters.
And did you do that through AT&T for the defendant's cellular phone and Sprint for Robert Baker's?
Yes.
And again, was that something that the phone pings that provided data that you could review again from your computers at the office?
Correct.
And did you get updated information from the Gangs and Narcotics Division as they were following and surveilling your suspects?
We did.
In addition to that, when you tracked the GPS trackers and the phone pings, did the information that you received appear to be consistent with the summaries of what Gangs and Narcotics was seeing in terms of tracking the defendant and Robert Baker to various bars and nightclubs?
Yes.
Calls for speculation, Your Honor.
The way the question was formed, that is true.
Did the data that you observed appear to be consistent with information you received from the people who were conducting surveillance?
Same objection.
That's overruled.
It did.
And was that, again, consistent with the data, the defendant and Baker going to various bars and nightclubs night after night?
Yes.
And did those dates cover, let's say, the night of February 19th into the early morning hours of February 20th?
Can I refer to my notes?
Yes.
Okay, what was the date again? I'm sorry?
February 19th into February 20th?
Yes.
February 21st into the early morning hours of February 22nd?
Yes.
February 23rd into the early morning hours of February 24th?
Yes.
February 25th into the early morning hours of February 26th?
Yes.
And after the defendant returned from a trip to Toronto that we heard or discussed in the recordings, March 3rd to March 4th?
Yes.
Nothing further on.
Mr. Levine.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Detective Bernard.
Good morning.
Is it fair to say that following the results of the DNA comparison, which you said matched the DNA of Robert Baker, that you were convinced that Mr. Baker was one of the killers in the of Fabio Sementilli?
I would say so, yes.
Okay. And did you arrest him?
He was arrested ultimately, yes.
Well, you found out that his DNA matched, I believe, on February 14th, 2017. Is that correct?
Correct.
That was just a couple of weeks after the murder?
Yeah, roughly 3 weeks.
Okay. And how did you obtain those results?
Well, first we obtained the blood swabs from the house and also the Porsche. They were collected, booked as evidence, requested for processing, and ultimately received the results back. That's how it works.
And at that time, you had sufficient evidence to arrest Mr. Baker. Is that correct?
I guess you could have done it right away, yeah.
Well, you had proof that his blood was among, or perhaps all of the blood that was found at the scene, in the car, at the house, in the rooms, everywhere involving the crime scene and this murder. Is that correct?
Yes.
You had no results, or did you, of a second individual?
As far as DNA results,
Yes.
we did not.
Okay. So everything matched Mr. Baker.
Correct.
It matched no other suspect.
Correct. We knew we had outstanding suspects, though.
So at that point, you could have gone out and arrested Mr. Baker
Sure.
and confronted him with the DNA and any other questions you wish to ask him, if he wished to answer them, obviously.
Sure.
You chose not to.
Absolutely.
Okay. You knew there was a second killer involved in this case, correct?
That's correct.
And I assume, obviously, your investigation was focused on finding the second killer as well as Mr. Baker, correct?
Yes.
And between the date of January 17th or 18th until the DNA results came in, from the day of the murder until the DNA results came in, this was an investigation in which you had no idea at that point who the killers might be, correct?
Correct.
And you had no suspicion involving Monica Sementilli.
No.
At some point, when the DNA results came back for Mr. Baker, did you go to Miss Sementilli and tell her that we had discovered that the killer, or one of the killers in this case, was Robert Baker?
No.
And the reason you didn't do that is you had some belief that perhaps Miss Sementilli was having some kind of relationship, affair, if you will, with Mr. Baker. Is that correct?
Well, no, not really. It wasn't until, I believe, the interview on February 21st of 2017 that there was any inclination that there was an affair happening that I'm aware of. I think that was the first that I knew about something maybe going on.
And that was based on?
Well, when we interviewed Miss Sementilli, and Jessica was also there. Jessica was the one that told us that Mr. Baker had slept over. She also denied that Baker was ever at the residence, so there was some questions there.
There were some questions there.
Yeah.
And at that point, you could have confronted her, obviously, with that evidence and asked her to explain, correct?
I mean, there was some effort to make some questions.
Well, I mean, did you ever confront her and say, were you having an affair with Robert Baker?
No.
You asked her if she knew the name of Baker, and she said she thought the name was Robert Baker, correct?
Correct.
And at a later interview with her, she volunteered to you, or in response to a question, that he was a racquetball coach, where she played racquetball at LA Fitness. Is that correct?
I think it was all around the same time, yes.
Okay. So she gave you what you believed was the name, which was, in fact, the correct name, Robert Baker. And
Yes.
she told you he was a racquetball coach at LA Fitness. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So again, you said at the beginning you had no suspicion about Mrs. Sementilli being involved with Mr. Baker in any way.
Up until that point, no.
Okay. So how much time had passed between the date that you received the DNA results matching Mr. Baker with the blood at the scene and in the car until you received some information, whether it was from Jessica or someone else, that Mr. Baker had been over the house or there'd been some contact with him?
I'm sorry, the date from the DNA hit to the date that we were pretty much advised of there was something going on?
Right, and you said that was based on some conversations with Jessica about
Right.
him having slept over and so forth.
Yeah, I guess it was roughly 7 days a week, somewhere around there.
Okay. And during that time, why didn't you tell Mrs. Sementilli that the DNA results had come back to match a Robert Baker?
Because it's my responsibility and my partner's responsibility to work this case. So we have a duty to not only figure out who one person is, but to figure out who the second suspect is and if anything else is going on.
Okay. So the second suspect, obviously, you were aware of was the second killer. Is that correct?
Well, what we had a video showing two people running towards the residence. We had a
Correct.
video showing the Porsche leaving with two individuals in the Porsche, and that's what we had.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your investigation initially, when you were there the first day, you had no preconceived ideas as to what had happened here other than tragically one individual had been brutally killed, correct?
Correct.
All right. And then you ended up viewing a video tape of somebody or two individuals jogging up Victoria Street from Oakdale. Is that correct?
Correct.
And the person who notified you or supplied you with the information that there might be videotape was Monica Sementilli, correct?
I don't believe she was the only person that told us about videotape. I mean, there's cameras right when you turn that corner. It's very easy to see.
I understand.
So it didn't require someone to tell us necessarily that there was videotape at the corner.
But she did tell you.
Okay.
Is that right?
I believe
You
so.
recall, and she gave you the name of the.
Yeah.
She mentioned it's the homeowners association, and she said she thought there were video cameras somewhere around the scene of the murder. Correct?
I'll agree with you. Yeah.
And she gave you the name of some Leslie Hamilton, and even a phone number and so forth to contact. Is
Yes.
that right?
Correct.
So she was providing you with information about cameras that perhaps had videoed or caught the two suspects coming up the street, correct?
Sure. Yes.
And you eventually did obtain those videos, correct?
Yes.
And how did you do that?
There was a residence that was right there that had access to those videos, and they were recovered.
And you know how long that took?
It was that night. We had copies of it.
And were able to view them?
Yes.
Okay. And we've seen the video of those two individuals jogging up the street, correct?
I think the only thing I've seen in court here was a still image of it.
Okay. But there was a video of that as well.
Oh, yes.
And that video showed the individuals, when you adjust for time, and no one's questioning the times that you've given us after the adjustment. It was about 4:18 in the afternoon that you first see the two persons jogging up the street, correct?
I believe you're correct, yes.
All right. And how far approximately would it have been, if you know, from where they were first seen on the corner there to arrive at the home of Sementilli?
20, 30 seconds, I would say.
Okay. And then at some point, obviously, they had to enter the location.
Correct.
Now, in your investigation, either initially at the scene or sometime thereafter, were you able to determine, or at least in your mind, what route the two individuals had taken in order to get to Fabio Sementilli in the backyard or the patio?
Not exactly.
At some point, you believe that they had gone around the back and got him from behind. Is that correct?
That was the most likely scenario, yes.
Okay. And did you at all calculate about how long it would have taken for two individuals jogging up to have taken that route and confronted Fabio Sementilli?
I mean, if they did it without any kind of waiting, I would assume it would be very quick.
Okay.
I didn't run it myself to judge.
Now, can you tell us what time it was again that the video caught the Porsche vehicle leaving the residence?
I can look at my notes if you'd like.
If you would, please.
The time the Porsche leaves,
Yes.
correct? 16:53 hours.
That'd be 4:53 in the afternoon.
Yes.
And we know the 911 call was made about 5 o'clock, is that right? Or a few minutes before, do you know?
Roughly, Isabella got home about a minute later, so the 911 call went out quickly after that, yes.
And when you see she got in a minute later, can you place a time on that?
Well, on the camera, you can see the vehicle arrive at 4:54, so 1 minute later. So with time to get out of the vehicle, walk into the house, I mean, it's fairly quick after that.
So 1 minute after the two killers leave the location, Isabella Sementilli arrives at the house. Is that correct?
Correct.
That gave the killers about a minute to escape, correct?
Correct.
And Monica Sementilli arrived shortly thereafter, say 5 o'clock, is that correct?
I have it on the video at 5:03.
Okay. So, based on what you previously told us, without any further information, the killers would have had how much time to travel from the front location or coming up the street in the back in order to commit the killing, the murder?
So from the time they are seen on video running around the corner to the time the Porsche scene driving away, we have, let's see here, 35 minutes, if I'm doing my math correctly.
But you had some additional information regarding a time when Fabio Sementilli was still alive during that period. Is that right?
Correct.
You had information that he had placed a phone call to his company at 4:46 in the afternoon. Isn't that correct?
I'm not sure of the time. I don't think that sounds correct. I thought it was prior to. Do you have something you can show me? That would help out. But I believe it was prior
Well,
to.
you don't have that?
4:30. I don't. Sorry, I don't.